Facebook is not letting me share or put links up, and
Oh,
I'm still working with that. Evidently, they want, in order to be, what is it, meta verified, which then would allow you to do it as you normally would, you have to pay. And I didn't know that. I did
oh, I
not know.
didn't know that either.
Yeah, they and I don't know if it's a glitch. I haven't quite been able to look into it to the extent I'd like to. But yeah, I did click the button though. I clicked the button and they said, okay. I thought, well, I'll go ahead and do it. And then they said, okay, well, how much do you want to pay us per month? Which plan do you want? And I'm like, what? So, well, that's the way it goes.
Sure is. It's all changing up, and I think it'll change up again. I don't think this will be able
No,
to withhold for long. So
no,
let,
I'm with you.
let's
Yeah,
just hold that that frequency that this is not going to be able to hold for long.
yeah. All
I've just
right.
shared two, so we're good to go.
Oh yeah, let me do that too. So, okay, we are back here with our beautiful sister Raeline. We've been enjoying these for the last few months with her. She seems to always be coming from somewhere in between the talks that we have. She goes somewhere, does some grid work, comes back. So I'm anxious to see what's been going on. I think you were coming back from Peru, if I remember correctly. Was that right?
Yeah, Bolivia and Peru,
Oh my
and
gosh!
a little stint in Chile as well for
Wow.
a quick ring of fire
And I'm sure you were
activation.
I'm sure, even though there was, I'm sure, a vacation aspect to it, you were there to do the work, the good work, huh?
Well, I was calling it a radical sabbatical because with me, you never know what's going to come up. So taking time out to give to myself and replenish. But
Mm,
yeah, it got quite busy.
I'm sure that's some pretty powerful areas you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, really, really. It's exciting what's going on there, actually. Really exciting. Many of the spiritual devices on our planet have moved out of a lengthy cycle of inertia. And a lot of what was going on there was clearing out the last bit of dross of overlay stuff that is pretty much a repeat, a rinse cycle of what we know, you know, chewing the chewed of old ancient stories and groups of people, service to self people. There was a little bit of something that needed to be cleared out. And I wasn't focusing on that, but it came up anyway. But it was a really good, let's just say, a lot of stuff is cleared out to do with piggybacking, hijacking, siphoning, loose extracting out of these amazing ancient power sites that really had them, not ready to do what they're here to do for this time right now. And there was a little bit of a whoosh and a oomph, and we're up and running. We're all the circuitry's back online, so that's really really exciting.
Well, that's powerful. That which you're speaking in general terms, I can feel it though. Like I guess since before, yeah, for me it kind of started like December the 7th and went about 10 days. And guy, it's just the level of transformation in all regards, physical, included, just has just gone off the charts. And I kept hearing that come post solstice, I'm going to take like 3 days off after having the four of y'all today and a few women, a few sisters the days before preceding.
Good for you.
Yeah. But I was understanding that, come January 1st, it's go. And and I was happy to hear that because I'm ready to get to work.
Yeah, well, I got a really strong message while I was in the Sacred Valley, and that was on the 1st to the 23rd. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, hop, skip, jump.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of stuff's happening with we have jump zones all over our planet, time zones, jump zones, and they've been heavily hijacked by certain families who hold DNA that have been able to manipulate that. And that's going to be a free for all now. So that's a game changer.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Really?
really exciting what's going on,
So
back.
in other, and it's interesting too because Rebecca Barron was on the first show today, and she was talking about what she knew, the intel she had in regard to like the DNA, how it operated, and so on, and she connected it to the breeding or the hybridizing, but so what it sounds like to me, what you're saying is that these things have been controlled or compromised, and we haven't had access, and now they're all going to be open. And as we continue rediscovering ourselves and gaining more of our sensitivities and abilities, they're going to be like Grand Central Station, maybe.
Pretty much, the galactic highways are open now, and it all depends on a few little components to it. And basically, the information that I've received and I've written down this morning is um, all will continue to fire up their spiritual technological functions according to our ability to frequency match with the patterns and exchange in sacred power sites. So, our sacred fire letters as divine flame keepers of these sacred power places on and within the earth and within the oceans, our sacred fire letters are able to frequency match now. And this is having a profound effect on opening up and modulating these sites to come back online. And
Mm.
a lot of the founder races have awakened that are back here. These are these beings are restoring Paladorian Codex, which is those that came to inaugurate the original gold printing and blue printing systems, the harmonic printing systems here on our Earth at the beginning times. So this is
Wow.
pre-Lemurian Codex, this is pre-Atlantean, this is pre-Hyperborean. This is all going back to the beginning now. We are octavating. We are going up an octave in the spiral of our galactivation process. So the ancients have created pyramid temples and sacred areas involving sacred geometry. So these are key encoded to awaken the DNA and the RNA sequences in us. Okay, so what that is it's respinning our spin path. In quantum physics, everything has a spin path. And our blood is spiralic. It's not linear. It doesn't flow through our body in a line. It spirals. So that is going through an intensified quickening. And a lot of these places on our planet correspond to different celestial bodies and planets, and the interfacing and the exchange between our bodies, these sacred sites, and celestial bodies has upped the ante manyfold, particularly this year. And that is also part of what's going on with the tectonic plates systems and what's occurring within the oceans, what's opening up within the oceans in a safe way, not to fry out our wiring, our water. We are clever water. We are the way of water. So it is this water that is helping us to stabilize frequency, stabilize the nervous system, which is our divine consciousness. And right on cue, my dog Orion walks in the room for a pat. So a
Uh,
lot of so so according to our ability to frequency match with these patterns of exchange, these elliptical patterns of exchange, both physically, planetary, and celestially, is having a profound effect. We are doing this, we are feeling this. We're no longer moving at the speed of sound or light or thought. We are moving at the sound at the speed of feeling,
Mm.
the heart coherence. So we're back online with that. And these ancient structures not only create divine harmony and cosmic order, but work with material and subtle material, terrestrial and celestial alchemy in creating heaven on earth through us. So many are awakening their sacred vessels now in becoming holding tanks. Sacred sepulchres is how it was described to me this morning. And a sepulchre is not a tomb for the dead to be laid out in, but a meta chamber for our metamorphosis. So our divine architecture, held within these source encoded vessels, is as a life-bearing container for materializing spirit and spiritualizing matter. So the solstice means to stand still, and it means that the sun is in a deep metamorphic state for 3 days. So we too are afforded this opportunity to anchor and alchemize as suns within suns. So if we see the sun as the flame and we are the sparks or smouldering embers of that flame, qualitatively the same, but quantitatively different, we can see how this is having great influence on exalting our elemental and molecular structure. I mention this a lot in my articles because our earth is changing, and with it comes a change of how these elements function in 3D. Now, while everyone was looking for something material to happen with 3i Atlas, we were negating what was going on in the inner structures of our being and how this was greatly influencing our ability to bridge consciousness through the quickening of our nervous system. So I'm meaning to say that these same elements change molecularly in form and function. And this is what has been occurring over the last few months. Every time 3i Atlas has gone and done a flyby very near to very specific planets, it has created a diamond or a kite-like energetic that is spinning us, our Merkabahs. And this is changing up all the elemental and molecular structure within our understanding of form. But not only that, we have earth, air, water, fire, and ether is the glue holding everything together. We have the senses and the sense objects. And for me, this is what has happened the most in the last few days, with the sun aligning with the galactic center, 3i Atlas doing a very close flyby, and now we're in the sepulchre. We are in the metamorphic resonance chamber to upgrade not just the elements, but all the senses and sense objects associated with the elements, such as sight and hearing and touch and smell, and the fifth sense associated with taste, the tongue. And so this is what's going on. We are going through this incredible metamorphic transmutation. And it is like, Jesus, when he was in the so-called tomb, what I like to call the sepulchre, and the sacred sepulchre, the holy sepulchre in the Holy Lands. This is what this is. And we can see this as Stargate technology, innate Stargate technology, interfacing with terrestrial Stargate technology, interfacing with celestial Stargate technology. And this is the alchemizing. Because what is ether? It is the quintessence The alchemists of old knew that when we fuse the four elements together, a fifth element was made manifest. It's always there, and it is the glue that holds everything together, the quintessence. And so here we have the five aspects of coming together. And what is this? As I say, it's us, it's the spirit. The quintessence is the ether. So in Western esotericism, it's represented as divine soul or the purest form of any substance, believed to be latent in all things, material and subtle material and spiritual. And so it's the unifying essence, connecting all elemental forces and all terrestrial and celestial combinations throughout all dimensions, all time, all space. And this is why I have the SQS in my name. That's what it means. It means a soul in quintessence as a system, as a divine system. So that's like my moniker. So,
I didn't know that. I always wondered about that.
mm,
Is just real quick, what's where does plasma fit in? Is it
yes,
is it ether? Is ether plasma? Or how does that work?
ether isn't plasma, but plasma is ether.
Ah, okay. Ether
It's a
isn't
part, it's a part of ether. It's a
plasma.
part of the
Okay,
quintessence.
okay. So it's symptomatic of ether energy or ether element. It's a
It's a
characteristic. It's a
it's
piece
a
of it.
manifestation. It's a manifestation.
Okay.
And we have to ask, Todd, why was ether taken off the periodic table?
Yeah.
And we have to ask what is going on, despite empirical science viewpoints that we know, our gnosis tells us that the periodic table is being changed up with or without any
Yeah.
needing to be told so. And it is incredible what's going on with this. So we can see that plasma is a form of condensed light.
Hmm.
It also contains photonic light. It also is a form of water
Mm.
in a quickened dimensional state, which is us.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is that's why I say we are clever water, alchemizing it all,
Mm.
because it's all within us. And if we look at all the elements on the periodic table, all the key elements on the periodic table are in our innate systems.
Yes.
And so it is us. We don't need to be told outside of ourselves. It is us that is changing it up here.
Mm. So just again, I just want to go back for a second. These sacred sites have basically been were hijacked. So for the purposes of its original um, intent, they've been dormant in that regard. Like they've not been utilized the way they were meant to be utilized. Now these are being cleared, and you have to match the harmonics of the site in order to, I guess, kind of enter and engage it, which is interesting because one of the ladies was talking about Atlantis earlier, and that the pyramids were, or the structures, whatever they were healing centers. That, but you had to match the harmonics in order to receive that. You had to match it, right? So, but anyway, getting back to what you're saying, it sounds like, and I'm speaking kind of literally, but metaphorically, energetically, as those that remember and that are guided to enter these sites and they match, which they'll know because they've probably been there before, like you, and they will not only engage it and therefore activate it mutually, or whatever the function is, but also further develop it, further grow it to include
Yeah.
the connections that you mentioned with the celestial bodies, etc. Yeah, is that right?
Yeah, we're doing what's never been done before. You know, those that remember themselves in Atlantis and Lemuria and Hyperborea, they're more in the trace memory of what we can hold actual recall for consciously. That's readily available to us now, thanks to many. And I would really, really like to totally give an honoring. It's been coming up for me for the first waivers who have come here, those in the 50s and 60s that entered into this atmosphere and actually came and laid down foundations for those that are coming through, you know, the indigos, the crystals. And these first waivers are actually doing a lot of work right now. And, you know, people like Barbara Hanclau, Barbara Masiniak, beautiful Solara, who came and brought in the 1111, who I just spent a beautiful heart connection with in her Heart of Anne, which is a divine space set up in the landscape of the Sacred Valley. A divine soul who has, like, when you think about that whole global phenomenon that they created with 38 hours in 1992, 38 hours of dancing and mantras and holding that on the Giza Plateau for 38 hours, and next minute a whole planet is seeing 1111. I mean,
I
that's
did
no.
not know that.
Yeah,
I did
that's
not
no
know that
small feat.
story.
She's the one who brought it and
Yeah.
anchored it for us
Wow.
to have that doorway out of time, to just sit with ourselves during 11:11 for that minute, that 1 minute, and remember ourselves as true beings, as true ones. No small feat. So these first waivers have, I feel, are coming in with like a second wave resurgence of everything they have held and anchored and alchemized in those inauguration times for our recent history, our recent memory recall. They are coming in with a resurgence now on another octave. And when you talk about the sites, how do we know? And because we are called to these places. And there are three things. Yes, they were shut down. There were people involved that were holding the coding in their DNA and their RNA sequencing, their soul songs that enliven these sacred power sites. And they didn't realize that there had been a changing of the guards with maleficent intent entering into the field during the ceremonies, and that their bodies had been utilized in a certain way in these places. But it was always decided right from the beginning that if one of the temples got infiltrated, that all of them would have to shut down to minimum aperture flow. And that was devastating, because what that meant was not only did the land and the temples and the pyramids and all these amazing sacred stargates shut down to minimum aperture flow as a protective function, it also meant that those who were holding those gateways open through their bodies also had to shut down. And so by going back to all these places, and many are feeling called to go back to places, that they are remembering themselves. They are putting back the connected or the dismembered parts of self, like Isis and Osiris, where she went and got the 14 pieces of his body and remembered him, and was given the sacred words to create life with Horus, who is the son of the sun. And we are writing or remembering and reconfiguring the mythos now, because a lot of the mythos has been distorted, and a lot of the mythos has been all about the tragedies that have occurred within the stars, within the earth. And that's not how it is meant to be, and that's not how it is in the original blueprinting and gold printing systems of who we are. We are born, we are star born into this world to bring forth and reweave the divine, eternal creatrix patterns of our immortality. And we are moving back into physical immortality. And part of this is that we hold within our body 8 original soul cells, which are our destiny patterns. And this is the difference between fate and destiny. So these are here for clearing, so-called karma, and for our awakening. And these hold the information, not for reincarnation cycles as the hamster wheel, but for moving up the octave. We are here to not just remember, but to reestablish new patterns each time we come in for the earth and all beings residing within and on the earth. So this is set in each person before so-called incarnation, not as a set thing, but as a cyclic process. And also with these temples and stargates and pyramids and sacred power sites, there are greater cycles, greater galactic cycles and lesser cycles where these naturally shut down and we move into a state of forgetfulness and then back into a state of remembering. So we're moving back in up the octave into a state of remembering. And these are assisting us. These original cells assist us in helping or holding our remembering, our divine remembering. So we not only have these 5 elements that we know as earth, fire, air, water, and ether. In the Bhagavad Gita and in the ancient texts of the Vedas, they speak of the 5 physical elements, and then there are 3 subtle or psychological elements. And these make up 8 as well. And these are called prakritis. And so the earth is the structure, bringing structure. Water is the fluidity and cohesion. Fire is the principle of transformation and metabolic, being able to digest it all. Air is the principle of respiration, being able to breathe life force and to exchange life force. And ether or space is the principle of distribution and the space between everything that is spiritual and material. So then we have 3 more subtle material elements, and that is the mind, or what they call manas, that perceives the world and gathers information. And then we have intellect, the faculty of discrimination, reason, and good judgment. integrity. And then we have ego, the self, the sense of self, the principle of true identity that gives out individuality. So these elements together form the material energy from which the whole entire universe is created. All planets, nobody is separate from this. No being, no body, no celestial body. All of us are going through this. And at the moment, we're going through an upping of the octave. So these elements are all being expanded on: spherical consciousness, expansive consciousness, and also we are receiving an extra oomph of exaltation and ignition of these elements so that they can interface and interplay with each other. So we begin to see through the heart and feel through the eyes. So they also have this concept in Egypt, where they believe that we have 360 senses. And at the moment, we are moving back into the greater galactic cycles where these senses naturally come online. And so, yeah, we too are afforded this. So when these more subtle material, they're not spiritual. They're still functioning within a universal sense. But when we bring the quintessence in, we can spiritualize these functions of our ego, our mind, our intelligence. So the ego then starts to work in the realization that it's part and parcel of the divine. It's a part of source, as a source coded being. And then the intellect is no longer clouded by bad judgment or faulty judgment. And the mind also starts to gather information in its true light. And so this is what we're experiencing now. And we are getting so much support and so much help, because as other celestial bodies and all the beings universally start to come back into the cycle, they start to send out waves. And we start to sense this and put out our feelers. And then we start to ignite from it within. So there's this incredible wave of exchange happening between our bodies and these greater celestial bodies. And it's like breathing in and out. It's magical. And it is who we are and what we're here to do. You know, these functions are all, they're here how we operate within a material and subtle material universal sense, but we're still holding who we are as the quintessence, a soul in quintessence, that we're here to bring our source connections into every aspects of our lives and every aspects of our exchange, whether it be with the kingdom collectives, our beautiful fur babies, families, star beings, these beautiful sacred power sites. We're here to alchemize it all. And miraculously and excitingly, we are doing this.
Yes.
And more the merrier, I say.
Yes. And thank you for all that. That was awesome.
It was
Full of
part
content.
of my sister Anna Katrina, who came on the other day with you, and she said maybe Raeline has something to say about the elements. It's
Oh,
like,
that's
yes,
right.
maybe I
Yeah.
do. The
And
quintessence.
and what was the reference, or could you expound on the relationship between our consciousness and our physical nervous system? Did you say something to that effect?
Yeah,
The, what
that
is, could you
in
expound on
its
that?
yeah, in its higher state or in its true state, our nervous system is our consciousness. Our ability to bridge consciousness is in direct relationship with our nervous system.
Mm, I get it.
Recently, when I was just at the island Isla de la Luna, I stayed on there for 3 nights, completely off grid, phenomenal, especially at night. So many flashing lights, and oh my God, it just slept with one eye open the whole time. It's like not to
Mm.
miss anything. It was so full on. And the water codes were just rainbow light language. Every time I took a photo, that's all that showed up in the water. And while I was there, I was shown that there are two suns and there are two vagus nerves coming back online.
Mm.
And this is they are intertwining. And how did I get that? Because I went in and I saw the rainbow serpent from Uluru going into Lake Titicaca, coming back up with the plumed serpent of Lake Titicaca and doing this amazing weaving dance that was not only our DNA, but was also these two vagus nerves being imprinted by the sun within Lake Titicaca. And that this is going to support us with our consciousness and our nervous system. And this is part of one of the primordial innate technologies we have, and part of what was in our original DNA encodements to hold this capacity of two vagus nerves. And we will build on this as time goes. Not even time, as consciousness awakens and develops, and these gifts and propensities come back online, we will develop how to interface with many suns. The many suns within our body, the many suns within the atoms, the suns of our solar system, our very own solar plexus, the great central sun. And these are what I call the 5 suns. And every solstice, I offer a process and protocols. But it's not just for solstice, because now we're entering into this phase where we're not just alchemizing during the 3 days of standstill, solstice. We are able to hold this frequency and galactivate and octavate up the spirals of solar consciousness. And so, about 20 years ago, I was given a process and protocols called Ankara Latumi, which simply means Ankh, eternal, La, of, Ra, the sun, and Tumi, mastery, like Katumi, like the ascended masters. So Ankara Latumi is a mantra, but it is also a description of us, one who is awakened or one who knows themselves as interfacing with the eternal mastery of the sun. And so I take people through a guided visualization of connecting 5 suns. And if you like, Todd, we can go
Yeah.
through that, because I usually
Yes.
do it every solstice. So
Well, we'd be honored and privileged to do it. Oh, I was just going to say one thing in my simple mind. So if I were to restate the part about the consciousness and the nervous system, an easy way for a layman to understand, I get the feeling that in human terms, the more relaxed I am, the more uh, efficiency in that connection. The more I'm going to get at it. That's what it boils down to, basically. that what you said. It's in human or in layman's terms, it's the relaxation is kind of my telltale, my barometer. No. Okay. I'm going to pull this picture up.
Well,
Let's see.
I'd just like to answer that. And again, it is
Oh,
about bathing and purifying our elemental and molecular structure, our makeup,
uh-huh.
in whatever, by being, interfacing with these elements and knowing that they're part and parcel of the divine, the spark and the flame, as I mentioned, and that these more subtle elements also of mind, ego, and intellect, that we take time out through the day to just bathe and purify. And even if we just catch ourselves, oh, I've done it again, I've gone down that road, catch yourself and just know that you can just, my mind is at one with the divine. My intellect
Mm,
is working with the faculty of divine reason and discrimination.
mm,
True. Ego. I'm part and parcel of the divine. I'm done with playing little God with a small g, because that's basically what it is. Ego is when you fall into forgetfulness that you're part and parcel of the divine source, and you start lording it over material nature. And we can see this has been rampant. And even we've given our power over to these little gods.
mm.
And we are moving out of that now and respecting our elder brothers dimensionally and celestially, but not giving power over, because we are part and parcel of the same
Yes. Yes.
source encoded flame as flame keepers, coming back our line, firing up our fire letters, and recognizing ourselves qualitatively the same, but quantitatively different, the
Mm.
spark and the flame.
New territory, new frontiers.
True territory.
Right.
A lot of people are saying new earth, new earth, new earth. I say true earth
True Earth. I
and
like
true
that.
self and
I
true
like
self. True earth, true self.
I like that.
Always been, always will be.
And I've never heard of this that mantra that you're talking about. I've heard pieces of it. Obviously, I know what raw means and so on, but did you self-source this? Was this something that you were given in
Yeah,
20? Yeah.
I was given, and I many people watching and people that know me know that I've been offering this for over 20 years now, and many gain benefit from utilizing it, especially during the solstice times. But it can be utilized anytime, because it is who we are, um, in our capabilities of ignition and exalting the light on our planet, and not just on our planet, sending it out.
Hmm.
So
Now, what is this symbol? Is it the mantra?
it's an ankh. It's
Oh,
a
this is a.
solar. It's a solar ankh.
Oh, okay.
So when we look at the mind, the lower mind, we have the lower mind, as mentioned. It's the faculty that perceives the world and gathers information. And then we have the higher mind. So the higher mind is our solar mind. So we can see that in this symbol holds the higher capacity of our mind, the manas. And so a lot of what's happening on our planet is that we have divine orders supporting the emerald orders, the sapphire orders, the ruby orders, all supporting us and our planetary body in exaltation. So this is a nunk, and we can see it overlaid over the body during the visualization. We can see that the first circle will overlay the heart, and then the circle at the bottom with with suns in them. That's the symbol for the sun in astrology and in Indigenous symbology. So overlaying the heart and also overlaying the what's called the Earth Star chakra underneath our feet. And so we're anchoring and alchemizing greater solar forces through our vessel, through our divine vessels. So I always recommend this during the solstice, and particularly now that we are still in the container of the sepulture of the solstice standstill, 3 days where we're alchemizing and building our energies like the sun to move up a higher octave. And so you can attune with these protocols at sunrise, midday, and sunset during this phase, or anytime you intuitively feel to. So, and as I said, we can utilize these beyond solstice to support our systems and not fry out our wiring, and to utilize the nervous system for greater capacity of solar influxing from geomagnetic storms, auroras, solar flares, all of this. It helps to stabilize the nervous system and to hold greater frequency and patterns within our divine architecture. So we have entered into a sacred rite of the passage of the sun, an active exchange, a changeover and a quickening of the earth stewards together in solar synthesis. This anchoring and this alchemizing occurs both personally and planetary, and is part of our innate rod and staff technology that exists within our sacred spine. As we ignite our fire letters from within as flame keepers. As the key to all key codes, which is what this is, it is a key. As this key code spins, it is recalibrating and releasing all the time locks that were set in place all over this planet. These were set, as mentioned, as both protective mechanisms since the last great fall of Atlantis and Lemuria, and as the grand global galactic doorways to love, power, and wisdom ignite as the threefold flame and are reabsorbed through divine fires within us, the true earth reality is made manifest to all as a grand global awakening of divine heart coherence and unification. Know as this occurs on a planetary level, we too are afforded the opportunity to open this function within our own solar mind and bodies. Ankrila Tumi is the key code for becoming a stargate. Our Earth has entered into a state or a phase of flux, which we can all well attest to. So just know now that this state of flux is moving into a more cohesive state, and that our frequency matching and the patterns that we are attuning with are creating greater stability to our nervous system and the reawakening of consciousness. So this is known by the wisdom keepers as frenetic timing. So this is much likened to being shaken free. And as we know, this has been a year of letting go and shedding old layers of outmoded dross. And we are further encouraged to relinquish any ideas at this time during solstice that we hold tight to as being set in stone. As an idea is simply that, just an idea, and may be changed in the blinking of an eye. We experience stillness in movement as a key, being in the world but not of it, it's illusory plays and lessons, surrendering for surrender's sake and no other cause, and miraculously finding ourselves in the free flow of organic now time. So the meditation mantra is Ankrelatumi, as mentioned, one who has attained eternal mastery of the sun. So this can be just chanted as a mantra and used with solar breath. And people go, well, what do I sing it in? And I say, sing it in the key of the heart and the melody of the soul. So as a function, this symbol is utilized to convert and invert any and all calendars and time zones of our planet within organic fluidity. For way too long, we have been operating on a malaligned calendar. Nature holds the key with unlocking all the organic time on our planet. So first, we're going to get ourselves into a relaxed position. If you can see the sun, good. Otherwise, just visualize the sun. We know what it looks like. We've seen it enough times. And just state aloud, true self in union with the divine God force, integrate and harmonize through this process. We are working with the principles of the law, the star law, and the law of one via our galactic center, which we are now moving into, the galactic center aligning with our sun. So as a scepter, we are visualizing now this over the body to unlock what's called the Logos calendar, a solar, lunar, stellar calendar of galactic time, universal time, organic time, unified as one, not governed by linear constructs of time, but pertaining to clocks that release frequency patterns pertaining to embodied galactic consciousness. So Ankrelatumi in this way contains the essence or the quintessence of galactic principles. It activates subatomic structure. And just imagine this as you're hearing these words, interfacing with your innate divine technology as it overlays your body. The Earth's atoms are emerging with the genitone memory, the sound within our genetics, and the sound within all life. The shaft of this symbol holds the seed code that first impregnated this Earth star at its primordial state of inception. This key lies dormant in all living beings. Ankrelatumi, one who has attained eternal mastery of the sun. Our life is golden. Our life is a key. And we hold this key in form, and the external use of this symbol provides the necessary propulsion to awaken this primordial state from within, and then experienced and witnessed from without. So we achieve this by visualizing and drawing down Ankrelatumi symbol into the form as it overlays our head and spinal column, and the two suns, the two circles, the sun symbols, as mentioned, overlay the heart and the Earth Star chakra, anchoring and alchemizing for all. Now we take a nice deep breath in, and over the chest and the solar plexus area, we visualize the two circles activating our galactic heart, our womb gate, opening up our inner stargate. Intone the mantra now, Ankralatumi, 3 times. Ankralatumi, Ankralatumi, Ankralatumi. Now breathe out the energy of the symbol as a blessing, intending that this changes any inorganic codes of entropy and decay, moving that into eternal life. As we release any and all maleficent matrices and introduce timelines manipulated through inorganic inversions and conversions, this holding pattern of entropy and decay is allowed to release now. Intend this is so. Decree this is so from your highest of highest self. And now we're going to align what's called the 5 suns as a process and protocol. So these are 1, the great central sun; 2, the sun of our solar system; 3, the sun within us, our solar plexus; 4, the great central sun within our inner earth, within the core center; and 5, the sun within all matter, all atoms, and all photonic and plasmic structure. Breathe in deeply now and hold the breath, intending that you are connecting with the great central sun, the sun of our solar system, the sun within the solar plexus, the sun within the core center of the earth. And now breathe that out as a blessing to the sun within all atoms and in all subtle and material matter. Align and alchemize these 5 sacred fires to the sacred fire within your own form. And once again, we're going to go through the 5, visualize Ankralatumi symbol over the body, aligning the 5 suns, breathing out as a blessing, and visualizing and speaking Ankralatumi. So this process, once we get into a rhythm, happens very naturally. So we align the 5 suns, great central sun, sun in our solar system, sun in me, sun within the earth, and breathe it out and say Ankralatumi, 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 as a blessing. In 3D consciousness, we perceive Genesis as a one-off event. However, outside of linear time, Genesis is experienced as perpetually occurring. And it is through us that Genesis is able to reconfigure and create resurgences throughout all time, all space, and all dimensions. Eternal mastery of the sun, Ankralatumi, is ours to hold through true self and true earth. Rise and shine, solar stewards. Solar synthesis is ours to claim. Solar blessings all. I am Raeline. Thank you so much, Todd, for allowing me the space to
Oh my God. Thank you
share
for
in this way.
that was gosh, that was wild.
And everyone can just utilize that now.
Yeah.
We have it recorded and people can just go through that. The text is also on my Facebook page, and
Hmm.
I can share it with you to put in YouTube or whatever. People can
Yeah.
go through the processes and just in your own time, in your own space. And as I say, this isn't just something for solstice,
Yeah.
but it's something we can utilize all the time. And many have found great benefit from utilizing these protocols. And yeah, it is my great desire to see it igniting a great solar flame of Ankrila all around our planet.
Well, it's definitely an activator because well, yeah, I had to sit with everything I went through. That was amazing. It was very amazing. Maybe I don't know. It was just very, very vivid for me. Very
Natural,
vivid. Yeah.
natural.
Yeah. And I saw a few things and that was pretty interesting too. But yeah, that was great. That was fantastic. I'm pumped up about it. I'm looking at the little phone here and there's 22 in YouTube and it's the 22nd. I think I picked the right 3 days to take off apparently based on what you're telling us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't know if I'll do four sisters again for a while in a day because I got one more to go and I'm going to need 26 minutes to basically integrate what just happened. That was amazing. Amazing. It was it was in a non uh, cognitive way. Uh, it was a remembering,
Yes.
and
And
I'm
these,
looking. Yeah, I'm seeing like my body parts change. You know, like other forms. I
the
was like, oh,
elemental, the
I remember
elemental,
that.
elemental and molecular structure is naturally changed up and switched up through this
Yeah,
and exalted. And as I said, we are the ones activating
yeah,
periodic law now.
yeah, yeah.
Through us, innately through us, experienced through us, but intricately shared throughout.
Well, yeah. So yeah, if you could send me the words,
Sure.
I'll put it on the other two platforms and on my pages too, because I think it's definitely definitely worth it. Definitely worthwhile.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much, Todd. It's been an amazing year.
Yes.
Hanging out in the field together and sharing what's going on month to month. We're like, what's going to happen next? We're all like little kids, so excited for the upcoming
uh,
months. I just want to wish everyone an amazing solstice, and however you celebrate the festive season, may it be full of joy and newness. And we'll see you all in 2026.
yeah.
Woohoo!
Yes. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back in about 20 minutes. And blessings of peace, grace, and love to everyone. And thank you again, dear sister, for sharing that with us. And I will see you next year.
Thank you, beloved Todd, for all you share and all you hold. Mwah.
Thank you.